I don't think she sounds too hot. Yeah, she's definitely not happy. I'm not touching the gas. I'm not doing anything. Oh, we got this flashing engine light now. And I can try to rev it up. It barely does anything. Eventually it'll go. So that is what a Chevy Cruze 1.4 sounds like when there's no compression on cylinder 4. So I picked this car up. If you remember on the channel, I posted a video a few months ago. I had a 14 Cruze actually. Did a little bit of work on it, posted it on the channel. I actually got rid of that car a couple months back. And ever since I did that, I kind of wanted another one. This one popped up on Kijiji actually. So I went and got it. And I knew very well that the engine was blown. I was expecting to put a new engine in it. So this one is a 2012. It's nothing special. It's just an LT, 6-speed standard, 1.4. Nothing too special. It's in decent shape. But yeah, like I said, it's got a blown engine. So now if we come over here, I just picked up this car the other night. This one is also 2012. Doors are off of a 15, not that that matters, but it's a 2012, got 140K on it, and it's got a good engine. So this was just too good of a deal to pass up. I was gonna buy just the engine from this guy, and then he shot me an offer that was too good to pass up really for the whole car. So now I have 2 Cruzes, which means 2 engine removals and 1 engine installation into that one. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is get this one unloaded off the trailer. This one still runs and drives. It's got all the rads and everything in the front of it still, so it's good to let it run. And I will I'll pull it into the garage, and then we'll start tearing this one apart to get the engine out. So I got it unloaded now. It's in the garage here. I just took it for a quick rip down the road actually. I made sure the transmission was all good. All 6 gears work perfectly. And I don't know if you can hear this, but that's the famous chirp coming from a 1.4. So water pump is shot, doesn't surprise me, and it's actually leaking coolant out of this bypass plastic piece over here. So again, another typical 1.4 issue. So once the engine's out, obviously that's going to be super easy to replace. Change that, change the water pump, and then I don't think the valve cover is actually leaking on this one, which is kind of surprising, but if I do find a leak, I'll change that gasket as well. So I'm pretty much going to start on the top end, just start pretty much taking everything off, because I want to try and pull engine and tranny together as one piece out the top. I didn't find an answer on whether that's 100% possible or not. It seems like it should be. You have quite a bit of room once you pull this motor mount out over here. So yeah, the plan is pretty much take everything off the top. This car is going for scrap anyway, so I got to take the whole front end off of it anyway to keep it. So yeah, I'll start pulling stuff off the top, drain the coolant out of it so I can pull this rad intercooler condenser assembly out, and then go from there. put this thing back down on its wheels so I can roll it back outside and then bring the other car in so I can start on that. Also have to pull the transmission off of that. So that one of the two things is going to be happening next. Oh, come on, stay running, stay running. She's not too happy. You just gotta make it 50 feet. So we have the second car in here now. Basically gonna be the exact same procedure as it was to pull that one. And this one's gonna be a little bit trickier, seeing as I'm keeping the front end on so I don't have that frontward access. A lot of it's gonna be underneath as opposed to the front side of it there. And being that this one's a manual, a little bit different linkage setup, but still just as easy to disconnect. And then rather than having transmission fluid lines going into the rad, I'm just going to have this one line that goes to my clutch. So yeah, other than that, same exact procedure. And I'm just going to throw this all in time lapse because you saw how that one came out. So this one's going to be the exact same. Just going to fly right through this and hopefully it comes out just as easy. And just like that, now we have two Cruze engine transmissions out. This one came out about the same. Had less trouble with that back bolt. Took that one out first. Made it a lot easier. And then other than that, there's not really a whole lot of differences between the automatic and the manual. You have different shift linkage and then you have a clutch line instead of having transmission lines. So what I'm going to go into next, I have to pull the transmissions off of both of these, pull flywheels off, clutch off this one, and then it looks like I'm gonna have to swap over wiring harnesses as well because the harness is different between an automatic and a manual. So I will jump into that, and then on that one I will be swapping out the water pump and that coolant outlet on the other side as well while it's out of the car. So here's a bit of an update here. Transmissions are off of both of them. Swapped over flywheel, flex plate, whatever you want to call it. Swapped those over between the two. So I have the clutch and the pressure plate back installed now. Did this coolant crossover as well. That was super easy once it's off the car. Now next thing I'm going to jump into the water pump. And then once water pump's done, hopefully get that transmission back on here. And as you can see, we have a brand new water pump on there. New gasket for the thermostat and new water pump gasket as well. And then when we come around the back, off camera, I was able to get this transmission on by myself. Not the easiest thing, but I did get it on there. All the bolts are tight, everything's in. Last thing that's left, I just have to put that wiring harness back on here, plug everything back in. Hopefully everything has the same plugs, it should. And then we can try putting this back in the car. So pretty much everything is back how it's supposed to be, and it's all hooked up. I broke this V-band trying to put it back on, and then I went and got the one out of the parts car, and then I ended up breaking that one too. So went to the dealer, grabbed this V-band. It was about 25 bucks. They're a very common part that'll break, just the way they're made. There's a really weak spot in them, so it happens. And then I actually found out when I was filling up with coolant, this was starting to leak, so went and grabbed the other hose off the parts car and stuck it in, and it seems all right now. So when I pulled the transmission out, I drained it just for ease of use, because, well, it made it lighter, easier to carry, and then also when you pull the axle shaft out, it's going to want to leak, and I just didn't want to deal with that mess. So drain that out, and I put it takes roughly 2.3 to 2.5 quarts of 8090 GL4 specification 80W90 fluid, and then also put new oil and filter in, 4 liters of engine oil, and then brand new coolant as well, just because this car's got higher miles, so you never know when the fluids have last been changed. So it's always good to put new stuff in. Doesn't cost too much. So like I said, everything's back in on the bottom. Exhaust is all good, axles are in. So I actually just got the battery tray in, battery's hooked up, so we are ready to fire this thing. I'm gonna crank the key a couple times, get the fuel pressure up, and then just go for it and hope she fires. Okay, so round one, let's see what she does. Push the clutch in here, key on, fuel pump runs, shut it back off, on again, off. On. See if she goes. Like nothing. Seems to be running all right. Let her idle down here. That's how a proper running 1.4 should sound right there. Much better. So I've had it running for a little bit here. Temp gauge is just coming off the bottom. It's actually starting to blow heat, which is good. It's always a good sign. Got coolant running through the heater core. Clutch feels real good. I'm gonna say I didn't get too much air in the system when I unplugged, because I just hooked it back up and it was pretty much good right from the start. So see what it's like on a test drive, but should be all right. So I did end up taking the car on a bit of a road test there. Everything seems good, the clutch feels good, it goes through all 6 gears nicely, it drives smooth, alignment's still good even after undoing the struts from the spindles there, but everything seems alright so far. A couple minor things to work out, but other than that, it seems like a pretty good car. So that's going to conclude today's video. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to the channel, that's always a good thing to do. And I don't really know what's coming in the next video, but you're just gonna have to wait to find out. So with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one.